Welcome back to Crime Time Podcast. And listen, in the court of public opinion is obviously different than a court of law. As it stands, we all know this, innocent until proven guilty. But public-wise, everyone that's been keeping up on this Brian Kohberger case that's set after all these delays, you'll see some different imagery popping up on the screen, right? You'll see me scrolling down all these updates that have been going on that have delayed this case so long, which I gotta say, strategically, all the motions that they filed have been a pretty good defense, I would say. As watch out for this defense team, they brought on an expert witness with a past of DNA cases, her name is Bicca Barlow, and the judge had to grant her a special, I forget, it's some Latin term, but it means that she's able to practice in Idaho because she has a California license, right? So she's not just testifying as an expert witness in regards to the DNA. She's actually a part of his defense team. And obviously it's big headlines. It's so crazy, man. These lawyers like, oh, if I can go free a psychopath killer, I'll be the ish in the attorney world. Like Jose Baez freeing Casey Anthony, who just popped back up recently, that evil ass bitch. But in the court of public opinion, I feel most people feel like me, that he's guilty. He's creepy as fuck, just downright evil, just radiates off this individual. Comment your thoughts. You believe he's innocent, guilty, whatever. Obviously, the case has to play out. And also comment and let me know if you think August 11th, the trial will indeed commence, which is going to be live stream all over the place. This case is huge. But like I said, the defense team has been putting in motion after motion. They got this big hotshot from San Francisco being a part of his defense team. And, they've been trying to get everything squashed, saying it's all should be thrown out because it all comes from, the poisonous tree. The way that they got the DNA, they say, was unconstitutional and all. And I don't believe that. Let me know what you think about it. But obviously, they're saying, hey, they used the DNA to look into the phone records and everything else. But it all started from the DNA, which was poison, and everything else is that tainted fruit. And of course, everyone knows about that knife sheath, or whatever you call it, case, that there was DNA on the button, as well as I think multiple sets of DNA under one of the victim's nails. But there's something else that is getting brought back up that they're also have been trying to get squashed from day one.
Developments in the Idaho college murders case, defense attorneys are challenging key evidence that they say was improperly obtained by police, including search warrants and DNA. Kana Whitworth joins us now with the latest. Good morning to you, Kana.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. So these are sweeping challenges that center around the investigative genetic genealogy and how authorities linked Kohberger to the crime in the first place, as well as his dramatic arrest in the dead of night, despite weeks of surveillance where they say he was seen unarmed. This morning, new court filings from Brian Kohberger's defense team depict a chaotic night when the former PhD student was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. His lawyers claim during the raid, law enforcement broke the front door of the home, shattered the sliding glass door of the basement, and held the entire family at gunpoint, and that with his hands tied and surrounded by police at gunpoint, Kohberger made statements to his arresting officers. Despite not having his rights read to him, they want those statements thrown out, along with other key pieces of evidence lead defense attorney Ann Taylor argues were illegally gathered by law enforcement using his genetic information. Authorities linking Kohberger to the crime after they say they found DNA that was a statistical match on the button strap of a knife sheath at the crime scene, where Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, and Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death.
When law enforcement uses that positive match and then says, well, we need to go and get a search warrant because we have a positive match for Brian Kohberger, that the DNA evidence is tainted and anything comes from it is fruit from a poisonous tree.
The defense, who says Kohberger is innocent, claiming without that genetic information, there could have been no request for his phone records, which prosecutors also say implicate Kohberger. Taylor also challenging the way authorities gathered search warrants, especially pertaining to the search of Kohberger's car, a white Hyundai Elantra, as well as his Apple and Amazon accounts. Now, Taylor says the warrants lacked probable cause. Now, this trial is set for August, but we're also still awaiting the judge's decision on the defense's request to have the death penalty taken off the table. Guys,
Still so much up in the air there. Okay, Kana, thank you.
So the statements that he made to police, multiple statements, as you see, it says on December 30th, 2022, 1:14 a.m., PA SWAT raided Mr. Kohberger's parents' home, and the arrogance of Kohberger and his family and all that, I'll get to that in just one moment. They think their ish don't stink. They think that there's something special, if you ask me, like privileged or something like that. During the raid, law enforcement broke down the front door of the home, shattered the sliding glass door of a basement, held the entire family at gunpoint, and seized Mr. Kohberger. They're complaining about all that like it was improper and all that. Listen, they're serving a warrant, doing a raid in regards to a brutal murder. Get the fuck out of here. They're crying that there was guns drawn and that they were zip tied or whatever, and a door was broke during the raid. That happens every day. I don't know. I'm just not feeling one bit of sorry for these evil assholes as they're acting like, oh, they improperly raided the house. And they're also have been putting in motions saying they demand that the Kohberger family, the defense's family, have all the same rights as the victim's family. And they want priority seating for Kohberger's family. But the defense is saying, no, some of the individuals in his family are supposed to take the stand and testify, and you can't have them in the courtroom hearing testimony of other people so they can play off that or switch their story up or whatever the case may be. It will taint their testimony. So no, there's just so many motions back and forth in this case, but just the audacity of these evil individuals. Again, I get it. Yeah, innocent till proven guilty. Listen, fuck out of here. We're dealing with just such a sad, tragic situation. And again, obviously the trial's got to play out, but I just can't believe this family. Mr. Kohberger made statements to the arresting officers. He was transported to a police station and made statements during transport. So he was talking when they did the raid, when they had him hemmed up, when they arrested him, when he was in transport. And at the station, Mr. Kohberger was processed, during which police collected info about the person. Finally, during interrogation, before requesting an attorney, Mr. Kohberger made statements to interrogators, from the Idaho State Police and the Moscow Police Department. At 4 a.m. On December 30th, 2022, Pennsylvania State Police filed a criminal complaint against Mr. Kohberger. So before he lawyered up, he made some statements at multiple different points through the arrest and being processed and all that. So they're attacking everything. The DNA, this, that, and the third. Our family needs priority seating, all that. But this is something that, was discussed early on, but I haven't heard people really speak much about as of late, that these statements that he's made are set to be used in court. The defense is trying to get that squashed as well. I haven't heard what kind of statements he's made, if it's all on body cam or whatever, or it's just the police word, but this could be damaging. We don't know what he said from everything I've seen. Comment and let me know if you have seen anything else in regards to the statements and whatnot, or just any pertinent info when it comes to this case. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, hit all those buttons for me. But on Crime Time Podcast over here, it's all about talking with you guys, the people, other people following these cases and hearing your thoughts, take opinion, you know, so don't be shy. Get in those comments. I don't claim to know it all, to be this big expert. It's all about that interaction. So once again, do me the solid, subscribe, and let's talk about the case. But once again, they're just such arrogance and evil and just audacity just radiating off this evil son of a bitch, like I said, and his family. They just seem like creeps to me. You know what I mean? Listen, some people out there are just pure evil or bugged out or whatever, and you'll be like, what happened to this person? Now their family's all normal or whatever, but I don't know, his family gives me the creeps as well. And speaking of families, there's one of the victims' family who just spoke out and had some things to say.
Newly released photo shows Bryan Kohberger giving a thumbs up just hours after 4 University of Idaho students were killed. As more evidence has been released ahead of his August 11th murder trial, our next guest lost his daughter, Kaylee, in the horrific attack just over 2 years ago. And Kaylee's father, Steve Goncalves, joins us now. Steve, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
The image, very eerie. And then 40 documents were released that show evidence. They were unsealed on Wednesday. Tell us what's going through your mind when you see that picture.
I see somebody that was making himself a trophy. I know the timeline. I know that he had just returned to the crime scene and he had came back. He had realized that nobody had called 911. I think he knew that they were still asleep. And to him, that's his little trophy to let him know that, hey, I got away with it. Nobody's on me. And this is just the beginning of what this guy had in plan.
I know through a search warrant, they were able to search his Amazon purchases. What did they find?
They found that this was a calculated event. He had been working up to this, I believe, for years. The real interesting part that I found, and I was informed, was it was only after one of these witnesses seeing that he was about to buy another one. So their suspicions were he was involved. Then they see that he's about to get another one, and they were like, they put their foot down. They did the right thing.
You're talking about the knife and the sheath. The knife and the sheath.
Yeah.
They found that months before the murder, he bought a knife and a sheath that looked very similar, or maybe exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the exact knife and sheath that was used?
That's how it's been described to me, exactly. Yeah, and then he clearly got rid of that evidence, and it was when he was going to buy another one that these people were like, okay, the suspicion has been confirmed.
Why do you think he was buying another one or wanted to?
I think he got rid of that one, and he was, he thought that was a perfect weapon, quiet. He was going to go into somebody else's house and, act two.
What else did they find in the 40 documents that were unsealed on Wednesday?
I haven't been able to see them all. It takes hours and hours to go through these. There's just a massive amount of work that's been done. But trying to think off the top of the head, there's quite a bit of information there. I encourage people to go look to the Idaho's page and their court docs and review them.
Okay. I can't imagine what this is like. You have to relive this every day when new information comes out. I want you to speak to that. And have you talked to any of the surviving roommates?
About a year ago, I talked to them. We have a Facebook page, and sometimes it feels like we may be talking to different people. But, Karen, Maddie's mother, she'll call. Her and Christy will go out together. They do girl stuff, hair, whatever. But, we have really kind of become a closer family. And, you come together on these type of tragedies. But Karen's actually in Hawaii right now and celebrating one of the last trips that she did with 2 girls, with both Kaylee and Maddie.
Mm-hmm. The trial is coming up. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm encouraged to see all this information. I hope some of the conspiracies and all that stuff that have plagued this case, with the gag order, there was a void of real information, so it just got filled with a bunch of nonsense. but things are getting better. And now that they have something real to talk about, the conversations are more productive. And I appreciate that. We have organizations like yours, and the truth's getting out. And that's what we really want, is the truth to be out, and stay away from all these conspiracy crimes and drugs and all this other nonsense.
All right, Steve, we are praying for your family. This is just tragic, and we'll be covering the trial from start to finish. God bless you. Thank you for coming on.
So you see it, man. His trophy, his I got away with it, thumbs up picture, which timeline wise lines right up after these horrific crimes were committed. And hats off to this father for doing media. You know what I'm saying? Like, to lose a child, a parent is never supposed to bury a child under any circumstances. And I just don't understand how people are able to dust themselves off and get back up. I mean, I'm glad that they do, but I just, through different situations in my life and things that I've experienced and stuff like that, I swear, people who lose a child, it's just like, man, the devastation and sadness, it's just, to overcome that, it's got to be damn near impossible. And I don't think anyone ever truly gets over it. They learn to carry on. But that's what I'm saying. Hats off to this guy for saying, you know what, F this. Let me do interviews. Let me speak out more about this case. Let me know the world what's really, let the world know what's really going on. And as you see, there's things that he disagrees with about law enforcement. There's a lot with this case, a lot of moving parts. Like I said, and everyone's been pointing out, man, this defense team, you see all those motions and all that, but don't sleep on the fact that they have this expert that they're bringing in. What's her name again? Bika Barlow is the one from San Fran who the judge gave that special status to practice law in Idaho without being a member of the bar there or having a license to practice law in Idaho. The judge gave her the go-ahead, the green light, and she's a part of this defense team. And, you know, there's endless stuff about all these cases that she's fought and had a lot of positive outcomes for her clients when it comes to DNA. These victims, you know, and RIP to all of them. And, you know, again, I think it's great that the father's speaking out. They need every bit of support that they can get to continue to get this story out there. As once again, even with all the arguments, the motions, the hearings, and that's something else about this Bika Barlow that I'm speaking about, this expert on DNA who's been added to Kohberger's legal team, actually testified in a hearing at one of these, I think, motions or hearings over or something. You know what I mean? She's really fighting for Kohberger along with some other individuals. They're trying to win. Again, that's just so crazy to me, to be an attorney and like to try to free. Because I believe this bastard just did it. But I'm hearing there's some people out there that don't. And I don't know, I understand that's an attorney's job, but just to be close to and conversate with and go out there and advocate for a demon like that, I just could never do it, straight up. But with everything that the attorneys have done and all that, the DP, that PENALTY, is still on the table. Don't forget that. And I don't know, you know, that's a controversial thing. A lot of people feel a lot of different ways about it, but in this state that they do indeed have it, the defense trying to do everything they can. They have not been able to get that off the table. So hit the comments. Let's discuss all this. August 11th is a trial date. Do you believe the trial will commence forth then? Again, it's going to be live streamed all over. What do you think about the DNA, them trying to squash it, this expert, Kohberger's family whining and crying about the raid, these statements that he's made? There's a whole lot going on here, as it's how it's been with this case from day one. And, you know, it's slowed down a little bit with all these updates, but still a lot going on every single day. So let's discuss it all. Subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for updates. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. God bless. Have a productive day. And stay focused and stay away from demons. It's good versus evil out here. Don't let that demonic energy or evil or just even negative energy in your life, don't you do it.